Now, let's talk about the importance of building relationships, not just with other like minded creators such as yourself, but also with businesses and kind of how to grow your business through relationships. Now, of course, you sell online, you can sell in person, but there's a good way to establish relationships to people in your community who are looking for your product. I'll give you a couple of ideas here, and then you can take and run with that as you please. Now, a friend of mine, I think I've already told this story, maybe I haven't. A friend of mine goes to a steakhouse and they serve him a steak on a cutting board with the juice groove. You know, it's pretty cool way to do it. They got their brand on there, and it's terrible looking. It's old. It's been through the dishwasher 1,000 times. It's all busted up. It's cracking. And so what he did was he said, "Is the manager here?" And they had the manager come out, and he said, "Hey, this cutting board. It's not really doesn't really look good for your business. Like I make cutting boards. I can do this same cutting board that will look much better. Brand new cutting boards. And if you'll give me the chance, I'll quote you however many you want." The guy thought about it a second. He said, "You know what? I'll let you do that." So he gave him a quote on, I think 10 was his first order. He quoted him 10, and the restaurant owner accepted. So he built him 10 and got it to him within a week or so. He brought all the cutting boards. They look new. And he's like, "It would be best if you keep them out of the dishwasher," but they want to make sure they're sanitized. So they're running through the dishwasher. And so now what he's done is after a couple of months, he goes back. Well, they've ordered more since too. They've ordered a bunch more. And since then, he's gone back and he's talked to the manager again. He says, "Look, um, after a while, these cutting boards, because of the way they're being used, are going to start looking old again. They're not getting reconditioned. They're having cuts and things like that put in them from your knives, etc." So he said, "So for X dollars per board, I will come back, take them home, refinish them." In other words, he's basically run them through the planer with a tiny bit, just take the tiny bit off, and then he does the juice groove again because he has the jig all set up, and then he puts finish on it and takes it back. It looks brand new. And so that's a good idea for you to have recurring revenue if you can talk to local steakhouses in your area. But it's going to require to build a little bit of a relationship or a rapport, even if it's just in the setting of being inside the restaurant with a manager or somebody who has access to or the power to purchase stuff like that. So that's maybe one good idea if you know of places that are using charcuterie boards or cutting boards or anything like that that you make, or any wood product that you think you could supply to any companies. Also, a lot of people know about they'll go to real estate agents. Like in this town, we have 10,000 people. I think there's like 3 different real estate agencies here that you could go to. Approach them with the idea that they give their customers, every time they sell a house, a cutting board as a housewarming gift. If you're making cutting boards or charcuterie boards or anything like that, then you could do that if you're into making cutting boards. Now, there's other ways to build relationships with people and use your just knowledge of woodworking to help people too. So if you wanted to say get with schools, things like that, and help children, try to help teach wood shop, things like that, I think it's always a good idea too. One thing I did was build relationship with fellow woodworkers. And this is another way you can kind of look at people as relationships, as not competition of fellow woodworkers. Another fellow woodworker here in Monticello and I started talking back and forth on Facebook Messenger. I saw he was posting stuff. I messaged him, like, "Hey man, it looks really good. Good job." Just kind of simple things like that to start out with. And we start talking back and forth. And then eventually, when he didn't have time to take on a project, he would send me his clients and I would send him mine. Or if he was more specialized in certain products, I would send him customers and then he would send them to me too. So building relationships is really important when you talk about growing your business, whether that be with other businesses in your area. And you can kind of get creative with that too. It doesn't just have to be cutting boards. It could be whatever type of stuff you're making. I know a fellow over in Warren who's just a little ways over, just started. He's doing something very similar. He's approaching these businesses and making products for their businesses, especially if you add a laser or something like, or CNC, if you have those items where you can do customization, that is also an upsell. So you can charge a little bit more for that. But even if you don't have that, you can still offer that for different people in your community. So that would be a good idea if you wanted to try to look into that. But I really do think you should build relationships with fellow woodworkers in your area if they're available. Some people say there's not any in their area, but a lot of times there really is. Just look on Facebook Marketplace and places like that where you're posting your products and see if they're posting theirs. Or you could just search custom furniture, your town name. I've done that too to find who's in my area making stuff. And then that way you can kind of build a relationship with them and y'all can trade customers if you need to, because it's all about helping each other grow. So that's the way I think about it. Go build a relationship. Oh, wait. Also, not just in your local area, but you can also go to, you should know about this already. Oh, I got too many windows open. So what you do is you go to our community. You're already a part of this. And this community right here is huge to build relationships with, bounce ideas off of. That's what this is for. Be sure and utilize this as much as possible. General discussions, questions, builds, wins. You see somebody post something in there that catches your eye, strike up a conversation with them and figure out, if they may be willing to share their plans so you can sell that project in your area or the cut list or something like that. Especially, if it's catching your eye, it's going to catch somebody else's eye. So right here in this community is a great way to build relationships with like-minded people to help you grow your business, because that's what we're all here for anyway. And I think don't forget that part of the relationship building right here on the platform.